What is good? It is Salim Muhammad Tarifa, the Fizzy on the Fizzy Speaks, back again with another episode. And on this episode, I would like to talk with you about the power of belief and rejection. Without further ado, let's get into the episode. Trust this episode meets you well. Yes, because everyone is dealing with their own thing, and I'm just glad that in spite of everything you have to deal with, you still make our time to listen to these episodes. Thank you. Makes me smile. Okay, so this week's episode, talking about the power of belief and of rejection. Wow. Now, by now, if you listen to this episode, by now you know that some of the most convincing people on the planet are people who give pitches for how do I put it? How do we call these businesses? People who do network marketing. Yeah, people who do network marketing business. People where you say, if you buy this, you sell one. You sell 4 units, and then you get this, and then this and that, and if you keep selling it and you bring 2 people to register, and then this and that. You have to just think, you have to imagine this and that. If those guys speak to you, if you do not believe in yourself before that moment, you will believe in yourself. You will believe in your ancestors. You will even believe in your descendants. You will start recruiting people who don't even exist yet. You start thinking, okay, if I give birth to 7 children and they, also bring or like 2 of their friends, then we'll have a pyramid, and then we just crack the code, and then we'll be millions and billions and everything. Those guys can speak to you. They can speak so much motivation into you. They can sell you this dream so well. My neighbor just bought like 2 cartons of this stuff and sold it, and then brought like 2 people, and those people brought 2 people, and last week they moved to Texas. Oh my God, they moved to Texas. That's crazy. I'm just saying, if you're in Texas already, then that's not really fantastic. But if you're not in Texas, then maybe that you think that's the world breaking, that's like the best thing in life, moving to Texas. I don't know. It was very hot there. I don't know why you're going there, because it's hot. So yeah, you could go to Florida. You're like, oh my God, they just packed all their family members and just moved to Florida, and now they're happy. Oh my God, he has a new house, he bought a new car. You won't believe this. Can you imagine what if you could sell 10 units of this thing? You know how much that is. Imagine you sell 10 units, and your son sends 10 units, and his friend sends 10 units, and then his cousin's brother's son, grandson sells 10 units as well. You will be in millions. You will be able to look. If you do not believe, you cannot achieve, and if you do not achieve, then your mind is not at ease. You need to dream bigger than your mind can conceive. You need to activate within yourself the possibility to unleash new potential. You cannot do that if you are limiting your scope. Let me tell you, what I'm selling you is not a business; it's an opportunity. You need to see this as an opportunity. You need to see this as something. These guys will talk to you. If you were an atheist, you will believe in their religion. This is really, because these guys, they are going to sell you something before you leave that place. You're going to believe something. Those guys can make you believe in anything. Now, before we get into this episode proper, let's not even get carried away talking about these awesome people who can make you believe anything. Yeah. So, speaking of crazy stuff, if you are in Nigeria, subsidy is looking like it's going to disappear very soon. I don't know how you plan on dealing with it. If you felt bad about, if you're a car person, just want to say this to car people, if you're a car person and you do a lot of moving, and you felt bad about your straight 4-cylinder engine not being fast enough, not being as smooth as a V6 or whatever, this is a good time to appreciate. Just go outside, look at your car, and smile at that beautiful baby, because it's a 4-cylinder, and fuel prices are going up. But yeah, economy is a beautiful thing when you think about it. Yes. I'm winking at you, Toyota. I'm winking at you. Yeah, call me. Just call me. I can help you guys sell more units. You guys are not doing a good job marketing. So yeah, what is belief. Now, belief is basically a subjective attitude that something or a proposition is true, right? Now, in epistemology, philosophers use the term belief to refer to attitudes about the world which can be either true or false, right? So to believe something is to take it to be true. Whether it's a lie or not, doesn't matter. If you believe it, then it's true, right? You believe it's true. Now, what do we now talk about as rejection? Rejection is basically the not acceptance. You're not taking it to be true. You are rejecting this thing. You are saying you choose it. You see it as false. Someone comes and tells you, you know what, babe, I love you, and you're like, no, I refuse your attempt to convince me of this because you look like a lie. You dress like a lie. Your makeup is a lie. Right? Your hair is a lie. Your hairline is a lie. Your forehead could be a lie. You never know. And the other stuff. Your cooking is a lie. Right? You use too much salt. Lie. Stuff like this. You have to be like, why? What is the meaning of this? You're cheating on someone. You're telling them you love them so much. You're lying. And whether or not you're saying the truth, that's not my business. Point is, rejection is the non-acceptance of something. Basically, rejection. That's just it, right? Now, when we talk about rejection, a lot of people our minds will go to what we experience as social rejection, where maybe you propose someone, they tell you no. You ask someone to give you money, they say no because you're not entitled to their money. All right? So I'm having a bit too much fun with this particular episode. I think I like it. I'm gonna go on with this energy. It's good. So so social rejection. Social rejection usually would yield people to be angry, to feel anxiety because of the fear of it, to get depressed, to feel jealous, to feel sad, to feel so many kinds of emotions, right? And it can actually affect us intellectually as we're going about our tasks, and that aggression and impulse control, poor impulse control, will lead us to do less and less, perform less in tasks that require us to be very intellectual and very grounded, as is reported by Diol in his in their review, the current directions in psychological science, published in 2011. I don't know, I just told you the reference, but yeah, just in case you want to read the full thing. I'm not going to do that on this episode. So wow, why did I even bring this up? Okay, belief systems. Now, there was this particular anime I was watching a clip of, and the guy said, bruh, look, don't believe in you, believe in the me that believes in you. And now that is just some cocky stuff, but when you think about it, when you really think about it, belief, right? Belief works in so many ways, and we are usually we're usually judging something at the forefront that we think is belief, that we think is motivation, that we think, oh, this is the thing at the forefront, whereas what we are really working on is the foundation we've built for ourselves. So what you say you believe is only part of the foundation of your thing, right? So for example, now we say cultural beliefs. Let me just go cultural beliefs. These are like ideas that are common to several individuals, governing interaction between these people, and the ideas that go between them, their gods, their groups, and whatever knowledge they have, that may not be like empirically discovered or proved. You don't have to prove it. You don't have to prove that this is it, but we agree culturally that this is it. Yeah, there's a religious side to these things as well, but I wanted to talk about a particular example. Now this particular anime example made me think a bit. And then I saw this awesome TED talk on the power of belief, and there was an example made in this TED talk about Josh Waitzkin, right? I don't know if I got the name Waitzkin. I think that's his name. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. So this guy basically is a chess bad guy. He's a don. He has won so many chess championships. Bad guy, he just wiping people out and doing it with aplomb, right? And this guy goes on to, after beating so many people in different championships, say, you know what, I'm going to take myself to another field where I know next to nothing, and that's martial arts, and I'm going to apply myself in martial arts, and I'm going to get to the point of maybe going for some championships. And he does do well, and I think he wins a couple of them, a few of them, and then he says something, and he says that the real power for him in belief, which I feel like writes on so many kinds of anime and movie that genres that carry the same message, really is just talking about how our belief systems, right, how our mindset can govern a lot of things. If we have a particular kind of system, a kind of let's say framework, yeah, if you have a fixed mindset where you believe that, well, if I say I believe in myself, right, and I try something and I do not get the result out of that thing that I want to get a result out of, then guess what? It just means I am not able to do this thing. This thing is not for me. I am not going to do it again. I'm going to drop it. I found an excuse. I found a reason why this thing is not going to work. Why this thing came out to me was because I'm like, even at work, for me, I'm at work and I'm working, I'm pushing myself, and I'm every week and all of this stuff. And then one day, this is crazy, I look at my MD, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm trying to use the right language here. So this man knows that I don't have all the years of experience, right? But for some reason, now there's so many reasons why this could happen, right? For some reason, he says, you know what, I'm going to take a chance on this guy, right? I don't know what it is about this guy, but I'm going to take a chance on this guy. I'm going to put him in certain positions where I know that he's going to be put under a lot of pressure to perform, and it's going to be quite crazy still. And there are a lot of other young people like this, right? You're coming into the world and you're expecting to make your mark, and everyone is watching you, right? For some reason, at some point in time, you have been put in a position where you didn't even ask for it. Maybe you didn't ask for that leadership position. You didn't ask for this responsibility to be thrust on your shoulders. You didn't ask for. You wanted some kind of, I want you to give me this responsibility for this, but then something else is added on to it, and I'm like, I'm expecting you to take care of this, right? Sometimes it goes without saying, and now you're in that space, and you are, first of all, like, why do these people think I can handle this thing? This is ridiculous. This is a lot. I don't know this much. I can't do this thing. It's beyond me. I've not been here before. And there comes in that position an opportunity. It goes two ways, right? I can go, I believe in myself, and sometimes it's like this, yeah? It might not be your boss, it might be your family, it might be anything. My dad used to do this thing as well. My mom as well sometimes. I remember for this one is a crazy story, but I'm not going to go into that. But then he's like, okay, do this, take charge of this, take charge of that. I'm like, guy, I'm so young. Like when I resumed work, I had a lot of artisans, carpenters, masons, people, a lot of them. Now, crazy thing is this: the foreman, the first site I was working on, the carpenter foreman is like, he's like twice my age and then some, right? This is me just coming in, and then it's crazy because I'm talking to him, and then eventually one day he tells me, because in the north people can get married really early and have children very early. And he's telling me that he has a son. One of his youngest sons, right? Maybe second to the youngest or so, is just about my age. Do you get what? First of all, reason this thing. If you go somewhere, you're supposed to be, okay, you're the engineer, you're the boss. You're supposed to coordinate people. You're supposed to do this, do that. And then the person you're trying to talk to has years of experience, more than the years you've spent on earth together. Everything, just squeeze it, put it together. It's just his job experience. And he's talking about, I should be retiring soon. And then you're looking at him and you're like, what? What? How? What am I going to teach you? You've been here longer than I've studied the course. You've been here longer than I've studied what I'm about to tell you, what I'm about to instruct you. Yes, I have some theoretical know-how and stuff, but how am I going to equate that to your over how many years of on-site experience, especially when I'm dealing with a lot of site people? It's a different kind of challenge. I kid you not. But this is where the opportunity is. Fixed mindset says, I can't talk to this guy. This guy, basically in a Nigerian sense, this guy now go, this guy now babao, this guy has been here. This guy has seen it all, has done it all. This guy is mentioning projects on a scale that are so big. For me, as a young engineer coming in, I'm like, bruh, what? You've done what? Refinery what? You've done what? Oh, you even have pictures here and showing me pictures. Okay, I see this picture now. I'm just like, bruh, engineer, see, look at, this is when I was at, this is fertilizer. This is this is that. I'm like, yeah, that's great. That's fantastic. But you know, this is where I feel like the belief thing comes in. I think, yeah, at that point in time, yes, I believe in myself, of course. But then I also believe in the fact that someone, now this might be crazy on their own part, I don't care. But this is my own mindset. Now, my mindset is that someone, somehow, sitting somewhere, thought, this young guy, should have a crack at this. This guy should have a shot at this. I want to see how he does. He might not be the best right out of the box. He might not get it all right out of the box. But I want to try this young guy. I believe somehow, along the lines, with time, I want to see what this young guy is able to do with this. And then he puts me in that position. And the fact is, belief, yes, believe in yourself, be all this wonderful stuff. I'm an advocate for realism, right? The realistic thing is, bro, you have there's a gap, experience gap, right? There's an experience gap, and there is a learning gap, but there's also a gap in terms of what you know with regards to what is, like, for example, now, you know the technology better. You know some of the tools better. You know some of the frameworks to an extent better. They might know how to use these things, but I know the limits of some of these things. When it comes to theoretically, I can tell you, if anything above 80 kilonewtons here, we're going to have an issue. Right? He knows that, Oga, if they put too much pressure, how much pressure? He doesn't know. But then he knows if it's a lot of pressure, there's going to be a problem here, it's going to burst. So I know this, he knows that. This is where it comes in. Mindset. What's your mindset like? Fixed mindset is, I don't know enough, probably not good enough for this, I shouldn't come here, I don't have, like, even on paper, I'm not going to say I'm the best of the best people on paper, but then God qualifies the unqualified, right? So now, amazingly, I say, look, this is it, right? Number one, this is School of Hard Knocks, basically, just number one. I have to strengthen my belief system walking into this place every day, right? This is not where you've been. This is not who you've talked to. This is not who knows you from where. This is not your whatever's in your papers. This is not, this is not anything that you've seen before. This is you here and now, and this is you taking on the challenge for here and now. And I hope I'm speaking to someone I say this, but you really have to be able to remove yourself from everything you think you know about yourself. Because if all you do is believe in you and what you've been able to do, and that might be good for a while, but sometimes it takes believing in the fact that someone else believes in you. Sometimes you're not going to cut it. Sometimes it's not going to be. Having something greater than yourself to believe in is also a win. And I think this is where God comes in for me. 100%. You get, number one, I had to just stop and say, look, there are things that that would make you understand that you are at war with your world, with the world around you. There are people, there are things that are going to look to undermine your authority, your know-how. They're going to put you in a very weird place. You're going to go to places. It might not be at work. It might be in your relationship. People will tell you, what do you know? You who have had 2 failed marriages, what do you know about this? You who have you who didn't have you've not in any talking stage when I came to talk to you, and now you're telling me about how you have options. Like, bruh, sit down. Where you going? You're not going anywhere. Who are you to talk to me about this? You're just a kid. Who are you to talk to me about this, and this? What do you know? Where have you been? What have you seen? What have you been there? Have you done this? Have you done that? People will try to shake you up in that sense, and it's kind of normal. You should expect that your belief system will come under a lot of fire. So if all you're rooted in is yourself, and then you fail, and then you have a fixed mindset in yourself, you are already in a problem. You're already in a problem. If you believe, oh, no one can ever tell me no, now you get no. Well, your belief was no one can ever tell you no, because you are the best, and now someone has told you no with your best, and you have to make sense of that. So you might say, oh, well, screw them, they don't know who I am, they don't know. But then if 10 more people tell you no, you're gonna begin to say, maybe I'm not just it, maybe I'm not just the shit, maybe I'm not just that person, and it begins to give you a different vibe altogether, which is why I feel like the mindset is actually where the win is. You want to get that resilience, you want to get that bounce back ability, like I mentioned on the episode before now, I think the Ronaldo effect. It was a fun one. But aside goofing around, really, I had to get to that point where I could stop and just visualize a successful outcome and say, look, this person believes in me. Now, realistically, I'm going to get some things wrong at some point. I'm going to have to do a lot of listening. I'm going to have to do a lot of learning. And I think this is where a lot of us miss out on growth. I'll say this because we are seeing things on social media where people go from 0 to 100. When you talk to people about this, what annoys me about a lot of people. When I talk to people about how did you get there, how did you do it, a lot of people are telling you, man, it's just God. I'm like, I will punch you in your face with your perfect teeth. I know that God is involved in everything in the world. I believe that. That's my belief. Right? But that's not an answer to my question. How did you go from sleeping every day, being a lazy slob, this and that, to getting your life together, getting this and that together, getting fit, doing all these things? It's not for you to tell me it's God. I know it's God, but I will roundhouse kick you in your neck. Answer the question. When people ask you, how did you manage the anxiety? How do you go from being someone who has so much stage fright to someone who is able to perform on stage in front of thousands, potentially millions of people? Right? How did you go from being scared to express yourself in a small group of 5 to going on a stage to minister to people? How did you go from there? I say it's God. I know it's God, but there's actually, there are lines. Things are connected. And I'm sure looking back is easier for you because you've gotten there. So you answer those questions. People, please don't be that guy. A younger person may come to you. Don't be that woman, don't be that guy. When people, seriously, right? Give them something. And it might just be the mere fact that I began to understand my vulnerabilities. I do not know everything. I'm vulnerable here, I'm vulnerable there. But you know what? I will be successful in the long run because I'm putting the right things in place, because I'm listening to people, because I'm asking questions, because I'm giving mutual respect. And I feel like that's one thing that people are actually avoiding. You want to get to the point where everyone is looking at you and being like, boss, 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 boss. But you don't want to give that respect. You don't want to be that person giving the person you're learning from their respect. You don't want to have to say, I learned from this person. This person showed me the way. This person was there when I was coming up. but they should be the way. You have to be able to do that. Respect is a small thing that opens doors for bigger things, right? Okay, I'm not trying to talk too much. I'm sounding so like a pastor. All right, so first thing was I had to visualize a successful outcome for myself, right? When you're going into certain things, if you work in sales, for example, if you work in marketing, if you work in branding, if you work in any kind of like field where you have to get a response from the people that you are working with immediately, that kind of gives you a gauge of how well you're doing on and on from time to time, day to day. Then you know the importance of noting the things, how people react to certain things. For example, you do a particular campaign and you notice that people are reacting well to a particular campaign better than they did to another one. Then you know, okay, this works. This gets me the result I want. This gets me the traction I want. This gets me the engagement I want. The way I use these hashtags, the way I put myself out there, the way I position my brand, my product, the time of day. If I post like if you're a social media person, a branding person, or a marketing person, you know your idea. You know that there's a particular time you post. You know, sometimes you post by midnight, and that's the best time to post because that's when people who are not asleep are able to really go through and engage your product, right? Or people are waking up in the morning to see that you've posted. So it's the first thing they see on their feed. It's around those places. So you're giving yourself time because you've learned how people react to what you do. So you learn, regardless of where you are, it might be your marriage, it might be your relationship, you start with the mindset that in the long run, I'm going to be successful. Why am I going to be successful? Because I am paying attention to what works and what doesn't. If I talk to my partner in a loud voice, if I'm upset about something, I go shouting like, you did this, da, 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 da. Oh, okay, I did that last week. It didn't give me a good response. I didn't get what I was looking for. That's not working. I can't keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result. So now I have to try a different approach. Okay. Babe, can we talk? Yeah, what's up? Yeah. And then you say, hey, look, I don't like yesterday, I was like, make me a sandwich, and he didn't make me a sandwich. Why? And she's like, you didn't use please. And then it's a very simple thing. But then now, you know where she stands. I know that, okay, maybe in your own way, you might not have meant it that kind of way, but you're able to now see both parts and then how it really makes sense for her or how it makes sense for him, and then communicate that more effectively. So that's one thing. So just check what works and what doesn't work, and don't waste time doing the same thing, or waste time ruminating over rejection. Right now, there's something that this Josh Watkins guy says, the chess champion slash martial arts champion winning person. He said something. He said one of the things that changed his life forever and gave him a different kind of mindset was the feeling that came with losing his first championship, with losing, let's say, his first match, with losing something. And what loss does, what rejection does, is that it reminds us. For me, I feel like what rejection does, if you talk to a girl, talk to a guy, you go to a place, make a pitch, submit your CV, do this, apply for this, it doesn't work, apply for that, it doesn't work. It reminds you that, yes, you want to believe you are the shit. Everybody wants you. Everybody this, that. Everybody like that. You deserve the world. The world belongs to you. And that's fantastic. But hello, we need to also understand that, especially if you're in your 20s, 30s, whatever, you are not the main character in everybody's movie. Right? I mean, my friend, okay, now, Chisom said this thing. Chisom is a very wonderful girl. She said this thing. She said, Salim, that she notices that when I'm driving, for example, that I drive like I'm actually in a movie. Like I drive like I'm a movie character or something, and I'm just driving like, next dodge, speed. I'm out. Fast. Not like I'm like speeding. I don't overspeed. Reasonable speed. But like, I don't like people that drive without conviction. So it's just my thing. And I think my uncles will agree. We all drive the same. I think. Just in my heart, I think that's how we roll. Yeah. So, aside from that, like, in my mind, I'm living my life like, in my movie, I'm the main character, I'm the protagonist, I'm the antagonist, I'm the anti-hero, I'm whatever, right? I'm like Deadpool, but like not as undead. You get what I mean? So like, one day you're this, one day you're that. You're Rambo, you're Rocky, you're Creed, you're whatever. You want to be whatever you want to be. It's up to you, right? You choose your characters and you run with it. You are your own character in your own movie. But this is the thing. You have your own movie. You have your own script. Every other person has their own script, their own movie. So you cannot be the main character in everybody's movie. So you will go to another person's door and knock and they will say no. And in your movie, that's where the story ends. In their movie, they say no, they go back to watching TV. Their movie is going on. Your movie has stopped at the door. And it's rejection. But that rejection is reminding you that you're not the A person in everybody's movie. So sometimes you have to understand that gap, and then you have to build a bridge. You have to build bridges to get to places. You have to build relationships to get to places. You have to build respect to get to places. You have to build, sometimes all these things you have to build to protect your own script. My script is, I want to be a good person. I want to be a person that lives light wherever he goes. I want to be someone who effects change. I want to be someone who influences people for better. But guess what? I can't do a lot of that if I'm interfacing with people who rub off on me wrongly. At a point now, I'm sick because I'm carrying a lot of negativity. So the next point is, I have to check negative thoughts at the door. I have to check negative directors in my movie at the door. Like, don't tell me this stunt can't be done. If you can't, look, do you get what I mean? Like, you could just be like, no, you know what? No, I'm going to be like, what's this Mission Impossible guy? What's his name? This freaking awesome man. What's his name? Name just skipped me. Alright, wow, okay. So I'm gonna be this, not Tom Hanks. No, I'm talking about stunts. Why is my brain bringing Tom Hanks? Not Christian Bale. No. All right, let's just forget about it. Jackie Chan. Let's go with Jackie Chan, right? Jackie Chan does his own stunts as well. So you don't tell those kind of people that have this vision, I want to do this thing. You're telling them it can't be done. No, you're not the guy for the job. That's how they say it. Because rejection tells you that you've tried a particular step, a particular way, and it hasn't worked. Now, the next thing to do is understand that rejection is not final. It's just telling you that this is one way that this doesn't work. So you have to try again, a different way, a different approach. You have to change your position within your mindset. So what is your mindset? Like I think the mindsets here basically are, you have a fixed mindset, or you have a growth mindset. Growth mindset says, I go to a place, I push the door, it says push, I push the door, it's not pushing. I have to go back and check. Did I push the door hard enough? Was the door stiff? Was it locked? Was it the wrong time? Did I get there on the wrong time? Was the door barricaded? Was there something? You have to check. You have to learn something from that experience. The rejection tells you something. You go to a girl and you say, hey, hello, can I get your number? She looks at you from head to toe, and then she's like, ew. I mean, obviously, no is a way kinder answer, but like, ew is like, oh my God, that hurts. So now you understand something. First of all, not every girl owes you a yes. And in fact, no one owes you a yes, to be honest. Sorry to say this, guys. No one owes you a yes. No one is just waiting for a yes to give you, right? Sometimes you need to work on yourself. Clean up your clothes. Go take care of your health. Get fit. Right? Take care of your business. Yeah? I'm not saying you should just build your life for gold diggers or people that come and take you because you have a fancy car. But work on yourself. Right? And if someone says no to you when you are in progress, then so be it. Sometimes no comes to you and it's a good thing. Sometimes no comes to you and that no is like, thank you God for this no. Thank you for this girl that said no to me. I've had people say no to me for strangest reasons. Someone said no to me one time because she said I was too serious. I'm like, oh wow, okay. So what kind of guy do you want? Someone that's going to help you cheat or what? I don't understand. So I mean, someone that's going to cheat on you or what? Like I came to you and you're like, the way I look at you is like, this guy is a very serious guy. He's going to want a very serious relationship. You don't want to be stifled. You don't want your freedom to be clipped. You want to be able to have your fun and do what you want to do, and you don't want to waste my time. And I'm like, thank you for not wasting my time, because that would have been bad for me. But you saying no is a lot easier to deal with. You say no, I go drink cold water and I'm back. I'm moving, So like, bruh, don't hate negative stuff, but check it at the door. Don't take it and internalize it. Understand that it's something to let you know that something here was not going to work. So I need to adapt. I need to change. I need to evolve my stance. So yeah, check it at the door. Don't take rejection personally. That's another one. So just like sales is a numbers game, each no is important, because the no's usually lead you to yeses. If you understand, like I say, pay attention to the stuff. You try this, it's not working. I tried this, it's not working. Guess what? I know not to try this next time, or not try this the same way. Try it again the different way. Rub minds with the people around you. Ask questions, and So there are so many angles to these things. Back to what the earliest line was, which is the guy telling the main protagonist, says, "Hey, don't believe in yourself." Because the guy's like, "I can't believe in myself. Who am I? I don't know enough. I'm not good enough. I don't know this. I don't know." Again, he's like, "No, I'm not asking you to believe in yourself, because believing in yourself, obviously, with that fixed mindset, it's not going to work. Believe in the me that believes in you. Believe in something outside of yourself, bigger than yourself, that believes in you." At a particular point in, I'll say, my life, I faced some challenges, and I mentioned this earlier on the podcast, one of my first episodes ever, about depression and all. I said something, and I said that at some point, I think I'm not remember if I said this exactly like the way I'm saying it now, but at some point I understood that what I felt was that I asked God. I felt like I had this conversation with God, and I could just hear, not like, "Hey, like, oh, Salim, I'm saying this to you." No, not like that, but it was more like, I could feel like just get that answer. And I was like, "God, if my story ends here, how would you be cool with that?" And then he's like, "What do you think? What do you think?" It's very easy to just say, "You know what, I'm done. I don't want to have to be accountable to anyone anymore. I don't want to have to say anything to anyone anymore. I don't want to have to carry any more load anymore." But the idea here is, I believe you've given me all of this, God, because you believe I can deal with it. I can handle it, because you believe in me. Right? So I should believe in in God that believes in me, that I'm going to believe in Him. Or you get what I'm saying? Okay, maybe I'm going a bit. Okay. Believe, not in Salim. I'm not believing in Salim as in Salim is going to do this. The Fizi is so awesome, he can't make mistakes. No. But I believe that there is something outside of me, bigger than me. God believes in me, that this thing He has given me to do, this thing He has given me to say, I am going to be able to say it in a way that that one person who this podcast episode is for, can get the message and understand I have just been spoken to, not by the finiteness that is Salim or that is the Fizi, no, but by this other belief, bigger than Salim, bigger than the Fizi, bigger than this sense of self, bigger than ego, that there is something bigger than me, I feel, that makes me want to talk to people about these things. Not because I feel like I know everything, because if I'm going to sit down and talk about my own self and what I believe I know, I don't think I know enough to talk to anybody about anything, to be very honest. I don't. I'm still learning a lot. But I believe that there is someone out there who wants to hear this thing I'm talking about. And it's for that one person I make an episode every time I can. Till next time, it has been Salim Mohammed Tarfa the Fizi on the Fizi Speaks. Saying to you, get see what I mean? I can't just believe in myself too much. What's wrong with me? Yeah. It has been Salim Mohammed Tarfa the Fizi on the Fizi Speaks. Saying to you, have an amazing one, have fun, stay amazing. Remember to take yourself out of that fixed mindset and believe in something bigger than yourself. Even if you are believing in gravity, believe in some fact that something bigger than you is pulling you, and it's for a reason, it's for a purpose. And yeah, stay amazing. Yeah. Peace.